Thank you. We'll next call on Congressman Gosar from Arizona.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just last week, 4 Americans crossed the border in northern Mexico for a medical procedure. All 4 of them were shot at and kidnapped. 2 of them died. The White House made sure to let us know that, quote, these sorts of attacks are unacceptable, unquote. Well, that's just great. But if these attacks are really unacceptable, we should have a protocol in place to avoid them. We can't stop American citizens from making decisions to cross the border into Mexico. But what we can do is to keep the violence down in Mexico out of the United States. We have a name for that kind of protocol. It's called border security. As long as we don't have a real southern border with a real wall and enough agents and the right technology necessary to properly police it, we might as well call what just happened down in northern Mexico a domestic terror incident. Until America has real, distinct, and adequately defended borders that clearly signal to both citizens and foreigners where our nation ends and the unrestricted cartel-dominated war zone begins, Mexico cartel's problem is our cartel problem. And every drop of American blood, every sex trafficking victim, every fentanyl overdose is on the Biden administration's hands until they get serious about border security. Close the gaps and use every available means to protect Americans from the hell coming across our southern border. I think it's worth getting to the bottom of how exactly the Biden administration has gotten soft on the border and how their policies have emboldened the cartel-style-like executions occurring across this country. Yes, Americans deserve to know why the border crisis isn't just at the border anymore. It's coming to your town, even Mayberry, as the storied Mayberry. I would like to submit for the record a January 19th, 2023 article from Fox News entitled Brutal Killing of a California Family. Quote, a clear message from the cartel sheriff warns they were targeted.
Without objection, so ordered.
Now, for both witnesses, do the illegal aliens you encounter have connections to the cartels?
So from HSI's perspective, we identify all types of cartel activity. As you stated, the cartels reach as far and wide into the United States. So as we're on
nobody crosses without the cartels, right?
So what we do know is that the cartels will hold the pathways into the country for sure.
So there's a connection, ma'am.
I think to say that we absolutely have seen the exploitation of migrants coming up into the U.S. through the southern border, vulnerable to the transnational criminal organizations. Not to say, I think, distinct from in between the ports of entry. At the ports of entry, I can't say definitively that the TCOs are involved in every single arrival to our ports of entry because there are more commercial means to get there.
Gotcha. So 6 million illegal aliens have entered the U.S. during the Biden administration. Compare that to 647,000 illegal aliens encounters in President Trump's last fiscal year in office. How has this surge of illegal aliens affected your jobs? To be kind of concise, please.
Certainly at ports of entry, we have looked for ways to streamline and be as efficient as possible because at ports, again, the admissibility processing of individuals is just one part of the operation.
So it's more of a secretarial duty than there is actual enforcement, right?
With respect to, I'm sorry?
Processing. You're here to facilitate processing.
No, I'm talking about like the legitimate travel and trade of individuals is also a significant responsibility of ours. But the processing of individuals includes interviews by our CBP officers at the front line to identify and further identify threats to the U.S.
So from HSI's perspective, the more goods, the more people coming across, our criminal investigations are on a razor's edge. So we have to identify the needle in that proverbial haystack to try to find razor-focused criminal investigations. So as more people come across the border, same as more goods, it gives the cartels more ability to hide. It gives these illicit networks more ability to hide. So we do need to increase our efforts to basically sort through the extra volume of both personnel and or if a merchandise flow increases as well. So yes, it would increase what HSI needs to look at in order to find the razor-focused criminal investigations and criminal activity.
In FY 2022, CBP seized 656,000 pounds of illegal drugs to include 14,700 pounds of fentanyl, the majority by weight at ports of entry. Now they're actually adding atrazine, making it a drug that cannot be used with Narcan to reverse it. Are you seeing that adaptivity from the cartels in regards to increasing the illegal transport?
I would have to get back to you, sir, on that specific narcotic. I don't have information on that right now.
It's a horse sedative that doesn't allow Narcan to actually work when somebody overdoses.
Understood. We'll take that for follow-up.
We certainly heard some intelligence and some source information. To answer the question more broadly, the cartels will adjust, adapt. As I said in my opening, you know, HSI has very successful operations attacking the precursors. As we attack the precursors, we see the cartels shift to try to get different analogs that'll get them what they need to make their final product. So it's a constant shifting game of cat and mouse. So they will shift the analogs and the precursors needed as HSI attacks those routes and other precursors.